a while since I've done one of these car videos, but to be totally truthful, I'm having a really tough morning. The first trimester of this pregnancy, I was great. I was sick. I felt sick and I felt panicky and I felt anxious, and it was a challenge for me to deal with feeling nauseous because, you know, being sick is like a anxiety trigger for me. I guess it makes me feel panicked. So that's kind of the fear, I guess, surrounding that. I'm not so scared of throwing up. I'm just scared of being sick in general, like feeling sick. So that was a good challenge for me, but honestly, I feel like I rose to that challenge and I feel like I did pretty well. Then second trimester comes, and to be honest, I'm feeling even more sick in this trimester than I was in the first one, which feels cruel, but I also am a lot more anxious. And one of the really hard things is, because I had such a hard time with my first pregnancy, I had this fear of like, what if that happens again this pregnancy? But then it's hard to think that, because then I think, well, I'm going to perpetuate that. I'm going to, you know, it's going to become like a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more I worry about it, the more it's likely to happen, because I keep it at the forefront of my mind. So I'm trying to just let go of that, and you know, just thinking that was then, this is now, a different situation. You know, look at it with a beginner's mind, so to speak. But then there's also that issue of like having to be alert and having to be aware. You know, my doctor said to me, if your partner says that he thinks you need to talk to someone, you know, make sure you listen to that, because our partners tend to notice more than we do sometimes. And you know, you might be trying to cling to like, I feel fine, but you might actually need to talk to someone. So there's this whole part of me that knows that I need to be conscious that I do have questionable mental health at the best of times, and that I need to kind of monitor that, because then I can put safety systems in place, you know. That was my daughter driving to school with her dad. So weird. No matter how long you co-parent for, it's bizarre when you see your kid somewhere else without you. It's weird. So I'm like trying not to think about the fact that I might lose my fucking mind, but also slightly monitoring for in case I lose my fucking mind. And it's like a hard tightrope to walk. But anyway, besides all that, the reason I wanted to film today is because I'm having lots of trouble getting into the world again. And this week we opened back up from lockdown, which is awesome, because we've been in lockdown for so freaking long. Like, it honestly feels like we've been in lockdown for 2 years, and I think overall we've been in lockdown for like nearly 300 days. So I know it's not 2 years, but it feels like the best part of 2 years. Yeah, so we're opening back up this week, and again, this feels like deja vu from last year, where we opened back up and I struggled to sort of get back out into the world again. But also I think this is kind of compounded by pregnancy hormones and feeling anxious, feeling genuinely anxious. But so I was trying to sleep last night and failing because I was so panicked. And so I was listening to Brach, and she was talking about, you know, resisting feelings and trying to avoid them and not feel them, and you know, trying to like subdue them, and trying to do everything we can when we feel yucky feelings, and we just try and like we don't want to feel that. And as much as I have spent years of my life now becoming aware of anxiety and becoming welcoming of anxiety and becoming curious about anxiety, I still don't like to feel anxious. And like a little bit of anxiety, okay, but when I'm driving to work, I still don't like to have that feeling that like my body's on fire. And that still happens to me in like particularly bad times. So So I'm having all those feelings, and Tara was saying that instead of like, you know, trying to sort of push it or avoid it or subdue it, just notice what is true in that moment. Notice what is real. Notice that it's okay that that's how you really feel in that moment. And so for me, I guess driving to work and trying not to be the Lauren who can drive to work with no issues and, you know, be singing and not worrying about anxiety, because today that isn't the truth of me. The real truth of me today, which doesn't mean the truth of me in general, but the truth of me today is that my stomach is in knots. I have that sense that I need to poo, which is always so uncomfortable, because when you have that anxiety sense of needing to poo, it's urgent. Like, it feels urgent. Whereas like if you just generally have that feeling of needing to poo, it's like, okay, I need to poo soon, you know, maybe you can hold it for X amount of time. But when it's that anxiety sense of poop, it's like, this needs to come out now. And so then it like triggers the alarm in the rest of your body. And the thing is, if I went to the toilet right now, I probably wouldn't poop. Like, there's nothing really there, but it's just that sensation. And fuck me, that sensation is hard to ignore. Especially when you're in the car driving somewhere. So there's that whole thing. And I'm saying to myself, like, this is the real me today. It's gonna be okay that I get to work and I don't need to swan in there and you know, like trot in on my high heels and be like, hey guys, like, you know, be some fucking weird version of me that isn't true right now. I can walk in there and say, I am having a really awful day. I feel really anxious. I can fucking cry if I want to. Like, I can connect with other humans. I don't have to always be this exceptionally unanxious version of myself. And it really is helping to give myself that that space to just be real. And that filters into like other areas of my life too. Like there's a lot of times on Instagram or YouTube even where I don't know what to post, because I want to post something valuable and you know, like interesting, and there's so much content out there right now, and it's like, it's all freaking great. And I'm like, I can't compete with that. But maybe I think at least from the feedback you guys have given, that the most valuable thing you get is the truth and the moments when I'm being real. Just got a little bit teary and shaky for some reason. And it's hard. Like the ego side of me always wants to shy away from that. I don't want to be real, because I don't even want to face up to the way that I really feel sometimes. I want to not feel that way, because it's not pleasant a lot of the time. I don't want to really be anxious today. I want to really be fucking totally not anxious. I want to be like enjoying my life and happy and excited and you know, all the things. So yeah, but maybe in the trying to be that, and the trying to make my day go a certain way, maybe not only am I losing out on the treasure that's really there, but maybe I'm also perpetuating the cycle of feeling disjointed, because I'm pretending I'm over here, but really I'm over here. And so there's this huge divide between how I want to feel and how I feel, and I'm just stuck in that gap. So maybe if I just sat with how I actually feel, I wouldn't feel fragmented. I don't know. But yeah, so that's the truth of today. And that was what got me through getting ready this morning for work, thinking all the things of like, I want to call in sick, I want to stay in bed all day, I want to hide from the world, I don't want to talk to anyone. Just thinking, just show up exactly as you are. And if that's not good enough, then deal with that then. But you know, there's been so much of my life where I've tried to achieve this certain, like, I'm okay, you know, or I'm really, really not okay. I've never just let myself sit in the, I'm not okay, and that's all right. I hope this is making sense. I don't really know what the fuck's going on. One thing I do know is that the afternoons are always so much better than the mornings. The mornings are always the hardest for me. I think lately it's because I haven't been getting enough sleep and I'm tired. But yeah, I know that I can feel so hopeless in the mornings. I can feel so dejected, so depressed, so worried that things will never get better, so panicked. And then in the afternoon I can come home feeling you know, like that person I was describing before, like I'll be singing with music on the way home, I'll be happy, I'll be freaking tired because I'm always tired now, but I'll be content. So yeah, I don't know who needs this reminder, but let yourself be real today. Be really, really you. And if that real you today is not the you that you would like to present to the world, not the you that you want to be, you know, maybe you feel anxious, maybe you're panicked, maybe you know, you're struggling with something, just allow that to be your real experience today. Just have a day of not trying to change it or fight it or you know, subdue it. Now let me know. Still feel like I need to poo though.